All right, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. Even the people that come with the venom, the hatred, I guess you can say. As long as you don't go personal, you can say whatever you want on my channel. But the moment you do that, then that's it. You're done. You can go. You can go mess with somebody, some other little small channel. Why you people do it, I'll never know. I don't know. No one's ever given me a definitive answer of why you do it. So I guess I'm just going to stop trying to understand it. If somebody has a LeBron's the GOAT video, Jordan's overrated, I'm not even going to click on it. Why? I already know I'm going to disagree with it. You're looking at it through a subjective lens that I'm not going to agree with. So it is what it is, But you guys want to keep bringing the hate? Go ahead. I think half you people don't even watch the video. You just respond to the title because that's the way it seems. Don't even watch the video to find out what it's really about because it might not be what you think it is. All right. In this video here, kind of a little different. This is for, I guess, the last 25 or so years to the present of what it would take for someone to be the GOAT, to actually be in a legitimate conversation alongside Michael Jordan. The resume being almost impeccable, almost perfect. Now, Jordan's resume is not perfect. There is a couple small blemishes, but not much. This guy's almost had a perfect career. Losing is fine. You can lose, no problem. But you need to lose to teams that are better than your team by record. And it's getting harder to gauge that now because of all the load managing. The regular season record is not, conducive to, how good a team really is. It's just not. You don't know how good a team really is anymore. Being a one seed just doesn't mean the same thing that it used to mean. One seeds got to the finals a lot. They just don't as much anymore. Home court advantage just doesn't mean as much. It's crazy and it's hard to gauge. It really is. Now, Michael Jordan started his career at 21 years old. He turned 22 during his rookie year. Well, a lot of these guys are 19 turning 20 in their rookie year. So they're about 2 years younger than Jordan. Some cases even 3 years, 2-3 years younger. Most of the time, though, it's right around, 1 to 2 years, whatever. But Michael Jordan, he played 3 years of college and these guys aren't. So how do we gauge that? You can just say that, whoa, he was at the same age that Jordan was. But he's got NBA experience. If Michael Jordan would have went into the NBA after his freshman year, he would have averaged, because his sophomore year in college is where he made his big jump, was from freshman to sophomore year, was a big jump. He would have averaged at least 20 points a game as a sophomore, no doubt about it. As a junior, instead of, if he wasn't in North Carolina, he would have averaged about 25 points a game. I don't even know how that's up for debate. That's what it would be. So it's hard to really say, but when you have NBA experience, it's different. You've already went through the rigor of an 82-game schedule and everything that goes with it. So you have a big advantage. You can't just go by age anymore. And I know you can't necessarily go by tenure either, because a guy might be in his third year when a guy like Jordan is in his first year. I understand that. So it's kind of tricky. A lot of this stuff is subjective. So don't come at me with all this hate. This is just subjective. So I'm looking at basically the current crop of superstars, the people that are making first team All-NBAs, winning the championships, all that kind of stuff that I hear these names. This is the daunting task that they're faced with. And it could be somebody else, whoever it is, if they're going to replace Jordan as the GOAT. Now, it's been done before, even just in the conversation. Like right off the bat, it was George Mikan, okay? He was replaced by Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain together. It's like, wow, we got one of these two are definitely the best ever. One guy was winning, one guy had all the stats, so on and so forth. And then you had a guy like Kareem who came in, and he did dominate a watered-down era, but, he was a great player, no doubt about it. Even though he only won one championship in 10 seasons before joining Magic, and he had Oscar Robertson with him, in a time when the NBA didn't have the ABA, had the ABA with it that drew, 30 to 35% of the best players in the world. We're now in a different league. But with that being said, the players today, this is where they're at and why it's so hard. Is it impossible to replace Michael Jordan as the GOAT? No, it's not impossible. But what you have to accomplish is just next to insane. It can be done, but let me just start out. Okay, Anthony Edwards. Now he's played about 4 seasons, I think. He's like 23 years old, something like that. Well, he hasn't made an all-defense yet, but to be in the conversation with Jordan, now Jordan has 9 first-team all-defenses, tied for the most of all time. Now, you don't necessarily need 9 to be in the conversation, but I would say you need at least 5 to 7 to be, a GOAT, a two-way player to be, in that conversation. Something like, Kareem or Russell would have gotten had there been all defenses. Something like that. Kobe Bryant, even though, no, he's not a GOAT. Unless they were just so dominant on the other side of the ball and at least solid defensively, like a Magic Johnson. He had a couple steals titles. He led the Lakers more years than any other player in the 80s in defensive win shares. He was not a liability. He was solid, and he was versatile. He could guard your center. In fact, he did it in the last game of the finals that won that. He, not only did he have 42 points, but he played defense against Caldwell Jones and was really good doing it. So anyway, Anthony Edwards, he's only played like 4 years. He made his first All-NBA, a second team. That's fine, no problem. But here's where it gets tricky. Anthony Edwards last year played with 2 all-defensive players, 1 first team, 1 second team. One of those guys was actually the Defensive Player of the Year, and also an additional all-star on his roster. So he had, a team that, should have got to the finals, but they didn't. They lost in 5 in the Western Conference Finals. He's already lost with home court advantage. Jordan never did. Now, again, you can't just go by one thing, but going by this, it's going to be tough for Edwards because he's going to need a lot of first team All-NBAs. He's going to have to make the playoffs every year. At least, when he's in his prime, whatever. Michael Jordan won the championship every time he won over 55. If he won 56 or more games, he's winning a ring. Anthony Edwards last year won 57 games. His team did, and he didn't even reach the finals. I'm just saying, these are the types of things that you're going to be looking at. Jordan only lost 1 series ever in which he led in it, and that was the 89 Pistons series. Anthony Edwards has already lost a series with the lead. They were up 2-0, and I believe they were up 3-2 also. So that never happened to Jordan. He's going to need a lot of championships. He's going to need finals MVPs. It doesn't have to have a matching resume, but you need to be in the ballpark. So right now, Edwards, it remains to be seen, but so far, I would say he's got a lot of work to do, to catch up Michael Jordan. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, great player. Finished, second for MVP? Okay. His second year, he was the same age as Jordan. Now, at age 21, he made the playoffs, lost in 7. Okay, no problem, whatever. In 2021, he only played 35 games. And in 2022, he played 56 games, which is, about 2/3 of the year, maybe a hair more than that. A 24-58 record. He failed to make the playoffs. Even when he was in there, they would have had a losing record because even if they won all 24 games and he was in there, they would have been 24-32 in games he started. That's the type of stuff. That's not good. In 2023, he played 68 games, missed the playoffs. It's not looking good for Alexander. He has no all defenses yet, and maybe they'll come, but he's already, 26? Just saying. And last year, he was 57-25, the number 1 seed. He lost in the conference semifinals in 6 games. Again, you've already lost your home court advantage. Again, this is just one guy. Luca Doncic, okay, so he's been in the league. He's got 5 first-team All-NBAs. That's really good. He has no all-defenses, though. That's a bit of a black mark. He has a scoring title. That's good. In 2020, he made the playoffs as the 7 seed. He had Porzingis on his team, so he didn't have a bunch of bums. They were 43 and 32. Okay, fine. In 2021, in the playoffs, they were 42 and 30. They were the 5 seed. They lost in 7. However, he had a 2-0 lead and he lost. That can't happen. They lost, and also had a 3-2 lead. He had I think he had Porzingis was still on that team. In 52 and 30, they upset Phoenix. That's a good thing right there. They lost in 5 in the Western Conference Finals. He had Jalen Brunson on that team, so it's not like he was carrying bums. Let's not start that. But in 2023, he missed the playoffs at 38 and 44. That's definitely a black mark, no question. Losing the lead, not making the playoffs. And then last year, he gets to the finals, which is a good thing. He won 3 road series in a row, which obviously doesn't mean what it used to in years past. But he lost in the finals. And everybody knows Jordan was undefeated. He was the finals MVP in every finals he played in. And obviously, Doncic has already lost that opportunity 0-1. But he can make it up in other ways. But right now, Luca, like all the rest, has a lot of work to do. Jayson Tatum, another guy, he's had 3 first-team All-NBAs already, which I don't think Tatum's as great as some of these other guys, but he keeps making All-NBA first teams. He has no All-Defenses. He's been to the finals twice, has no finals MVPs, including one that he won. He does have a championship, which that's good. But he lost the Eastern Conference Finals in 7 with home court advantage, blew a 2-0 lead. Now, I know he was a rookie, so you could maybe give him a pass on that. So it's kind of a small black mark. 2020, he lost with home court advantage in 6 games to Miami, who, was, what were they, the 8 seed, I believe, that year? A 5 seed. They were the 5 seed. That's the one where Miami was the 5. So that's not good. They lost with home court advantage. In 21, they were 36 and 36. They made the playoffs as a 7 seed, lost first round, no problem. In 22, made the finals. They were up 2-1 in the finals, but then lost 3 straight. That hurts him right there. You got to the finals and lost. In 2023, last year, 57 and 25, lost in the Eastern Conference Finals in 7 to the 8 seed. Huge black mark right there. Not looking good for Tatum at all. And then last year, 64 and 18, had the best record in the NBA. They won the championship. That's good. That's going to help him. But he didn't win the finals MVP, so it also hurts him at the same time. Tatum, there's just no chance he's going to ever be in that caliber. It's just no way. Unless he just somehow, next 10 years, just goes nuts. But I don't see it. Victor Wembanyama, I know he's only in his 2nd year. But he did win Rookie of the Year. That's great. First team All-Defense. Excellent. Block title. Excellent. He did miss the playoffs, though. Now, we can maybe give him a small pass on that, sure. And we'll be seeing what he does in the coming years, but he can't be missing the playoffs. I mean, like I said, maybe because he was only 19, we give him a little pass, whatever. But this year coming up, what is he, 20 now, going to be 21 in a couple months? Yeah, the passes are done. He needs to start making playoffs, at least like a play-in, something. But if he keeps putting up the numbers and all that stuff and ends up being what we think he's going to be, yeah, he has a shot, absolutely. Broussard thinks he will be one day, but it's a long way to go. Hard to say. But he's going to have to really, put up a hell of a resume. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's won 2 MVPs and a Defensive Player of the Year. That goes a long way, no doubt. His age 21 to 22 season, he was in the 2015-2016 season. He was 33 and 49 and missed the playoffs. That's a black mark. The next year in 2017, they were 42 and 40, made the playoffs, lost first round, no problem. 2018, same thing, 44 and 38, lost as the 7 seed, that's fine, losing to a better team. 2019 is a black mark for sure. 60 and 22, and they got upset by 2-seeded Toronto in 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were 58 and 24. Sure, they're a good team, but if you're talking Michael Jordan, that's a black mark. 2020, 56 and 17, best record in the NBA. They're the 1 seed. They lose to 5 seed Miami. Hot or not, you can't be getting beat in 5 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals. It just can't happen. And he did. Another black mark. In 2021, he wins the championship and the Finals MVP. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's going to help him to go with the MVP as Defensive Player of the Year, but he has black marks, so he's going to have to really pick it up. In 2023, he was injured for 2 games, but they lost 4-1, but they were 0-3 with Giannis. So actually 1-1 without him. So that didn't help his cause at all. And that was against 8-seeded Miami. That's horrible black mark. And then last year he was injured, so you can't really count it against him, good or whatever. Then the last player I'm looking at is Nikola Jokic. Now, obviously, he's considered the best in the NBA and probably is. I didn't even mention Joel Embiid because that guy, forget it. He hasn't even been to the finals yet. He's 30. He'd have to just go nuts, and it's not going to happen. He does have 2 scoring titles, whatever. Nikola Jokic has 4 first-team All-NBAs. He has no All-Defenses, though. He's almost 30. That is definitely something you could hold against him. He missed the playoffs his first 3 years. He was not 18 when he joined the NBA. But that is black mark. You can't be missing the playoffs. You got to be good enough to get your team in the playoffs. I know he got better later, but that's what I'm talking about. No, that's not GOAT material. You wasted, good, you're not wasted, but those are good years that you're getting schooled by, the current GOAT. He's won 3 MVPs. Very well could win another one. That's great. But even if he wins 6 or 7, that's not enough. That goes a long way, though. That's a strong, that's a strong situation for him. But he's only got 1 ring and 1 Finals MVP in 2023. He didn't beat a 50-win team to get there. But, a ring and a Finals MVP, absolutely, that helps him. In 2019, the first year he made the playoffs, they were up 3-2 on Portland and lost with home court advantage. That's a double black mark. You blew a lead and you did it with home court. This last year in 2024, the same thing. He lost a 3-2 lead. I think was he up 3-2? Yeah, I think they were up 3-2. But anyway, either way, he lost with home court advantage. Again, that's 2. Jordan never lost any. And he has never beaten a 50-win team. He's going to have to start beating some at least good teams. You can't just every time you run into a, pretty good competition, you get beat. You're going to have to start beating some of these teams. But all in all, these players, they're nice young players. I don't watch the NBA like I used to or anything like that. But this is the daunting task of Michael Jordan. You don't have to do any match him or go past him in any one thing. But your resume going up against this, 9 first-team All-Defenses, 10 scoring titles, 6 Finals MVPs, 6 championships, 5 regular season MVPs, 1 Defensive Player of the Year, only losing 1 series ever with a lead, never losing with home court advantage, the only top 75 player that can say that, won every time he had an all-league teammate when he played more than 20 games. I mean, think about that. At least when he was on the Bulls, not the Wizards. Or even with the Wizards. Every time he had an all-league teammate, whether it be all-defense or all-NBA, either one, he wins a championship. That's crazy. I don't think there's anybody else that can say that. He's got 10 first-team all-NBAs. He's got 9 first-team all-defenses. He has 13 total stat leaders, 3 steals, and 10 points per game. He made the playoffs every year he was on Chicago, not till he was an old man. So, again, these are... and he won a championship every time he won over 55 games. And besides the fact that he has the 2 three-peats, I mean, it's a daunting task. Again, you don't have to have three-peats necessarily. But you're going to have at least 5 championships. You got to be in that 5 championship club. Unless, now there are circumstances, you just never had that number 2 option, that really good player at number 2, like an Olajuwon kind of situation. There's been other players like that. But like Kevin Garnett never did until he got on Boston. Then he won a championship. Stuff like that. But your resume has to just be insane. I mean, you look at it like a Tim Duncan's resume, which is really nice. 5 championships. He's got a couple MVPs. Got, 3 finals MVPs. I mean, it looks great. All defenses and all that. And he's still way short of Michael Jordan's resume. I mean, it's just crazy how good you got to be. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. This has nothing to do with the current era about how soft it is. How good were they in their era? You'll have to compare that to what Jordan did in his era. Not exactly like, how high the stats were, like 30 points a game or no, not that. Just compared to the rest of the league, how did you do? And then you take that and you go and you compare it to the current GOAT. And all I'm saying is, sure, there's people that maybe could do it. They'd have to just have a most insane career. But it's just a daunting task to ask anybody. And I've tried to manufacture people to be in this GOAT conversation. And you know what I find strange? Where was all this energy from like Shannon Sharp? He was on TV. Colin Cowherd. All these people that now disparage Michael Jordan's competition, pump up all his teammates. You never said a word until LeBron James came along. Then all of a sudden, Jordan actually wasn't that good. Isn't that funny how that works? To fit a narrative, now you start trying to bash on Michael Jordan. Why didn't he on a 30 and a 40 win team beat the Boston Celtics? Why did he get swept by those teams? That kind of stuff. Nobody ever said a word before because they knew how great Boston was and how terrible the Bulls were, and they understood how the schedule worked in that era. So it's just ridiculous to me. You're so phony, you're not consistent, and you're trying to fit something to fit your agenda. And you're a joke, and nobody's going to respect that. You have no credibility. The only people that think you do are the ones that follow you like mindless robots. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got for this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. Thanks for watching, and till next time.